If you guys want to free build like a pro in Fortnite, this video is going to go over the exact settings, drills and retakes that allow pros to have insane mechanics and dominate every fight. Whether you play on console, PC, keyboard or controller, if applied correctly, this video will pretty much guarantee instant improvement. Now before we even start building, there's a few super important settings you guys are going to want to consider. First, you want to make sure you have all the settings you don't use turned off. So if you play on keyboard, turn off all of these controller settings and just do the opposite if you play on controller. Then if you don't play tournaments, you can also turn off your replays, and I also recommend turning auto confirm edits on. This just makes it so you only need to press one button to edit compared to having to press two buttons if you didn't have this setting on. That might not seem like a lot, but trust me, if you want the fastest mechanics possible, then you should turn this setting on. For keyboard, set it to edit, but for controller, I recommend setting it to both. Now, before we get into the more advanced stuff, some people can't even do the basics like consistent 90s, single cone edits, and double edits. So if you're one of these people, make sure you master these fundamentals first. And you also need to learn how to do 90s while sprinting, as well as how to do 90s where you place just a floor and a ramp. And then the final type of 90 you need to know are these clicks 90s, where you place a ramp in front, then move to this side of the ramp, and then you look down, place a floor and another ramp, and then you run up here, jump, and as you jump you want to place a floor and a ramp, and you can just keep on repeating this over and over again like this. Then you can also add sprinting in as well to make it even faster and get high even quicker. Now when you have all of these down, you also need to be able to do triple edits, as these are also important. Quickly, before we get into the more advanced stuff, it would mean a lot if you could like, comment and subscribe so I can keep on making these videos. But let's not waste any more time and get straight back into the video. The first thing you need to learn is this move right here, because it lets you do so many things, and you can go into other retakes like this retake for example, which you can then go into this retake and do. But let me break down the most important high ground retakes that are the most simple ones, but the ones that everyone should know. And like I said, the first one is where you place a ramp, then you place a wall and swing 4 walls around like this, and then you place another ramp on top, and then you can just keep on repeating this. And you can also go into other retakes like this one here, and to do that you want to edit this, and then you want to place a wall here, and then you want to jump, place walls to the side, place a ramp below, and then a ramp above. And another good basic one to know is this one right here. And this is called a FIFO cone, and to do this you just place a ramp and you swing walls around like this and place a cone on top. And you can also go into other retakes, like you can do this and land on a ramp instead, and then you can edit and go into something like cone 90s as well. The most important thing is being consistent and combining moves together to stay unpredictable, because the most important thing is making sure your enemy can't predict you. And if any of these moves are too hard, then you can always just go to a map that has speed options like this map on the screen and just simply lower the speed, and this will mean you move slower, so you'll be able to practice moves that you can't do yet, and then eventually you'll be able to do them on full speed as well. Just make sure you go back to 100% speed after, so you get used to free building on the normal speed. But there's 3 other super important high ground retakes you need to know if you want to be able to free build like a pro. And the first one is this one right here. To do this you just place a ramp and then a cone, and then edit this tile. But as you confirm the edit, you want to place a wall in front, then to the side, then edit like this. Then you want to place a wall here and here, and then jump, place a ramp and a cone. Then you just repeat the same thing but to the other side, and you can do this as much as you need. You also need to know how to do these high walls as well, because these are a super good move, especially to use in real games, and they keep you fully protected. But I also recommend learning this move as well, which is pretty much the same as the other one, but this time you do it with double edits as well. And this one is slightly harder, but you can go and use the slower speed to practice it at first. The last super important retake is this right here, and this is called cone 90s. To do this you just place a cone, then you want to edit this, and as you confirm the edit you want to place a wall in front, a wall to the side, then look up, place a cone on top, then select the edit, and you can either make this one tile edit or both tile edits, and then you want to jump and confirm, and then you just keep on doing this over and over again. You can do this as many times as you want, and you can go into different retakes and just combine everything. Another move you're going to want to know is this move right here. It's just a simple edit down with ramps, and at first it can be hard to get down, but if you practice this in every free build, you'll soon get it mastered. But the most important thing is that you stay protected and keep track of your opponent, so you do the retakes that are going to get you high ground the fastest based on what your opponent is doing and where they are, because although 90% of the time you want to do retakes that keep you fully protected, if you keep track of your opponents, sometimes you'll be able to get away with these super quick things that leave you unprotected because you've got good awareness and notice that your enemy isn't aware of you. And I'm teaching you a lot of moves throughout this video so you can combine the moves and practice every move so you have a good amount of different retakes you can use to change it up, stay unpredictable, and do a retake based off what your opponent is doing. And that's why you need to keep track of your opponents. Also, a lot of people still don't know that you can place cones from further away, from one box away, and over walls like this. All you have to do is move your crosshair just above this wall and the cone will place over it. So let's say your enemy is ramping up here. What you can do is place this cone from far away, like you can place it from all the way over here. And again, you can also place them over walls as well, like this. You just have to learn the right position to position your crosshair. And let's say your enemy is ramping up here, but you're also ramping up. As you can see, you're on the same level, so whoever places the cone over the other person first is going to get high ground. So what you can do to make sure you get this cone is place this cone and then edit it, and as you confirm the edit, you want to still hold your cone button out, and then what's going to happen is it's going to turbo build through the breaking cone to place over that. When you're free building, the goal is to build and edit as much as possible and practice awkward angles, so when you go into a game you never mess up, even if you do something like run into a wall like this. Because you free build and practice this in your free builds, even these edits are super easy, and it does take some time. You just have to practice. Now, free building isn't all about having flashy edits. It's much more about being consistent, especially being consistent with a good routine that focuses on what you specifically need to improve. That's why I use snapping to build me fully personalized routines based on my specific weaknesses, goals, and tournaments. Snapping tells you exactly what to practice, what you need to improve, and you even get your own 24/7 personal AI coach that's trained on hundreds of pro strategies. So if you want to get snapping to improve way faster, there's a link in the description. But whether you get snapping or not, you still need to practice every day and free build for at least 10 minutes every day and work on what you specifically need to improve. Snapping helps you do this for you, but even if you don't get snapping, you still need to do this if you want to improve faster. And make sure you go into games to practice these moves and practice comboing a bunch of moves together, because that's how you're going to learn what retakes to do in different situations and against the different types of players. It looks hard at first, but after some practice, everything becomes muscle memory, and then you can also repeat these moves in real games as well to help you win a lot more fights. And a very good strategy everyone needs to know when free building is speed free building. And step 1 is where you free build on a slow speed to practice the moves you struggle with, or to practice moves you wouldn't be able to do on normal speed. And on this speed, you also want to make sure you have good crosshair placement, which is where you move your crosshair as little as possible to make an edit. Then you want to go to a fast speed to practice editing from awkward angles and to just improve your overall editing speed and especially your edit timing. And because you're on this high speed, you're going to end up doing things like running into walls like this where you'll be forced to do an awkward edit. And practicing these is super good, especially if you play tournaments or even if you just play ranked and want to win more fights. Also, when you're in fights, make sure you're always looking for ways to get the most piece control as possible on your enemy, because the most important thing in this game is piece control. Always looking for ways to piece control your enemy is going to help you win so many more fights. Now that's the end of the video. If this video helps, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment what video you want to see next. Also, if you want to find out the easiest mechanics you need to learn, watch this video here. Thank you so much for watching.